Sandra, in this particular attack, was Russia behind it?
Well, according to Ann Neuberger at the White House, it looks like it was the Russian military organization called the GRU. And the GRU, this is very significant because the GRU is the same organization that tried to disrupt the Olympic Games opening ceremony in our last Olympic Games, and also was responsible behind the attack of NotPetya. If you recall, that disrupted shipping lines, vaccine productions. And so we're looking at a group that is very, very significant and very dangerous.
How is the cyber threat landscape changing as the tension rises? What are the dangers?
Well, the dangers are really multifold. So, for example, what we're seeing from the Russian cyber capability right now in Ukraine is that they are doing a lot of information operations, meaning it's not just the DDoS attacks on the banks that you mentioned, but it's an SMS text spam. So people are getting messages on their phone saying the banks are down, the banks don't have, the website is down, which causes people to have more fear, more uncertainty. And that's part of the game as well, is making sure they can get into the head of their targets. So a lot of the talk of what President Biden just talked about with, putting out fake news about genocide or other fabrications, really the point behind them is to justify and put a false justification of war, but also to seed doubt and fear into their targets, the Ukrainian people who want to still have confidence that their government can protect them.
So what is your reaction to what President Biden just said, that he believes that President Putin has decided he's going to invade Ukraine physically? What does that mean for the digital front lines?
Well, cyber defenders around the world are paying attention now. And if anything good has come from the many years of Russian cyber aggressions, it's this. We know a lot about their threat actors. We know a lot about their tactics, their techniques, their procedures, and we're going to need to use them now to make sure that we are prepared. What that means for businesses is that this is the time to make sure that they have all of their hardening procedures done, that they're not low-hanging fruit for a possible Russian action.
What kind of attacks are you seeing directed against the United States in particular, and what sectors are you most concerned about?
Right now, from our perspective, we haven't seen any direct action against U.S. targets. But what we're seeing is sort of the usual activity that we've been seeing way before this incident, which is Russian threat actors who are actually continuing to conduct espionage, or even through supply chain, just poking around and doing the work that they do, possibly to stage, but also just putting more in place in the event that they want to take action. And that's something we need to be paying attention to.
If Russia invades Ukraine and then the U.S. retaliates, how might that impact Russian attacks on the United States by both state-sponsored hackers and criminal ones?
We can anticipate higher risk of cyber actions against the United States if we were to deploy sanctions as a retaliatory measure. But really what we need to do is prepare at this point and not panic. This isn't a panic moment, it's a mission moment. Cyber defenders know what to do, and they need to go ahead and start doing them. What we are really concerned about is Russian aggressors using the software supply chain to make scaled attacks across, something like what we saw with NotPetya. But those things are cyber actions that we can mitigate, we can detect them, and that's what cyber defenders need to be doing right now.
Now, Bloomberg has reported in other news that Microsoft is considering acquiring Mandiant. And of course, Microsoft has been vulnerable to several attacks over the last year. Why might a deal like this make sense given this clearly rapidly evolving threat landscape?
Well, as a matter of policy, we don't address any rumors about mergers or acquisitions. But what I can say about the entire cybersecurity industry is that it is united right now looking at the Russian threat. Everybody is on alert. And this is probably one of many miscalculations by the Russian president, is that there was going to be a lot of disparate infighting. And that is certainly not the case, not with the Western allies and not with the cybersecurity industry. We're united on this as well.